What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew, and with the Cats entering the finals 2024 in third spot, we have a battle ahead of us. And it begins with a matchup against Port Adelaide on Thursday next week in Adelaide, and we've got to bring our best to get on top of them. Port is a team that's been in pretty damn good form of late, getting it done in tight contests as well as blowing a few teams apart. It's going to be a real challenge, but we do have the full complement of players available to us for selection, and we're going to explore some of those players over the course of the next couple of weeks and what we should expect from them going into this final series. We're going to begin, though, with, of course, none other than our captain, Patrick Dangerfield, because he is an important cog in the Geelong machine going into finals, and I want to explore, I think, some expectations for Paddy going into it, or slash a few hopes from myself as well. So Paddy, what's he been doing this year? Well, he's led from the front. He's had some phenomenal games over the course of the season. He's certainly won the fans' vote on a few rounds over the course of this season as the best on for the Cats. He's going to accumulate some Brownlow votes this year. Despite the fact that he's absolutely in the final couple of years of his career, he has not dialed anything back, and he seems, touch wood, to have for now overcome the hamstring woes he was suffering from, and perhaps the change of technique that he discussed during his last layover in terms of the way he approaches the ball is playing a big part in that. That's it. Every time Paddy Dangerfield goes near the ball, especially at full speed, the heart kind of jumps into the throat a little bit. I'm always a little bit anxious that a hamstring is coming, but for now, so far, so good. The main thing that I want to explore when it comes to Paddy going into this final series specifically is his game time. Because that's something that, and anyone who kind of followed some of the Hoops Crew stuff last year would know I spoke a lot about Paddy Dangerfield and his minutes, his time on ground. And last year, going into the finals, we're in this position where we needed to fight for our lives, fight to hang on, fight to make the finals in the end. And I was pleading to just increase Paddy's game time. He was playing kind of high 60s, low 70% game time. And I was saying, uncage him, unshackle him, let him go. And it proved to be the case where they didn't do that. We missed the finals. I don't think those two are necessarily related to one another. There was a whole lot of things that went wrong for us last season that ultimately led to us missing the finals. But I was a bit disappointed at the time that when there was an opportunity to do something, an opportunity to unleash arguably our best or most important player, we didn't do it. Well, now we have made the finals, and Danger has had a fantastic season up to this point, and we are, of course, managing his minutes. We are trying to look after him. We're trying to make sure that he doesn't break down. We're trying to prolong his career. All of these really important things to the makeup of the Geelong Football Club going forward, I appreciate. But here we are. It's finals time. It's do or die, almost. We've got a second chance this week. It's almost do or die. It's going to become do or die from this final onwards. And I want to kind of explore the minutes and what we should perhaps expect. So let's kind of begin by looking at maybe his last 6 games, just to kind of get a bit of a feel for his game time. So I'm bringing up the player stats. I'm looking for time on ground. I'm going to filter Geelong. We'll go disposals because he got a fair bit of it. Paddy Dangerfield against the Eagles, admittedly. Now, he wasn't in full flight. He was struggling one way or the the Eagles were struggling. They never really had a prayer against us. From 68% of game time, he got 25 disposals. Almost more than any other Cat. Only bettered by Max Holmes, who spent an extra, what would that be? About another 10 to 15 minutes out on the ground. So Paddy's in form there. He's going into the finals in form. Let's backtrack. We'll scroll all the way back down because it always boots me back to the top. Let's look at the Cats and the Saints, which was a loss. Let's keep in mind. So that there's a bit of texture to that as well. Patrick Dangerfield, 20 disposals, 71% game time. So again, fitting that narrative from last year, at least going into the finals. Let's go and take a look at the game against Freo, which was a hard-fought game that we ultimately won in. Where is Patrick Dangerfield? 20 disposals, again, 81% game time. Now, this is one that I think I'm going to refer back to shortly, because this was a must-win match for the Cats. Let's keep rewinding again. Freo, the Crows, against his old mob. Patrick Dangerfield, 21 disposals, 62% game time. And we'll go 2 more matches. So North, where we smacked them. Oh, don't scroll too far. Come back. Come on. Patrick Dangerfield, 12 disposals, 70% game time. 12's a bit low, but we were kind of playing with our food a little bit that day. And our final game against the Dogs, not good for us. Patrick Dangerfield, 17 disposals, 82% game time. Now, what I want to explore here, as much as that wasn't necessarily his best effort, and of course that was a losing match for us as well. What I want to explore a little bit here is the game time that Paddy's played. Of those 6 matches, the 6 most recent games he's played, the majority of those games, high 60s, low 70s. What were the 2 games that he played increased game time in? They were against the top 8 teams, or potential top 8 teams in Freo, and then, of course, the Bulldogs. Patrick Dangerfield is a gigantic piece of the Geelong puzzle going into the final series. And so I firmly believe this whole uncaged danger sort of logic that I brought last year is absolutely this time going to play out, because every match is for keeps. Every match, if we win it, takes us one step closer to winning that premiership. There's no wins and losses. There's no just trying to make it in the finals. There's no scrapping for top 4. Everything is about winning at this particular stage. And Danger is a huge part of that. His stats showed it. When he was up, and the team was up with him. When he was down, things not so crash hot. Paddy Dangerfield should be, I think the expectation for Paddy should be that 75% is the lowest amount of game time that he plays. And I know that we want to manage his minutes. We know we want to be careful. Maybe if we end up smacking a team over the course of the finals, then sure, give him the opportunity to rest, put him on the bench and look after those hamstrings. But when it's for keeps, when both teams are going hammer and tong at each other, I want Patrick Dangerfield out there. A Geelong team with Paddy Dangerfield out there is a better team right now. And that will remain the case for at least another 12 months, I think, as well. So I want to see him out there. I want to see that game time closer to 80%, ideally. Maybe even higher. Again, we could see from the Dogs and the Freo game that both games he was north of 80%. And I'd love for that to kind of be the minimum. But I think the reasonable expectation is that 75% is the minimum amount of game time that we want to see Paddy Dangerfield out there. We know that the medical teams have their say in terms of managing loads and all those sort of things, but it's not about managing loads anymore. This is where the coaching staff and the needs of the team start to take precedence. Not in the case of concussions and those sort of things, but in terms of everything else, there's a bit more dice rolling that's got to go on. And I want to roll the dice on Paddy Dangerfield's hamstrings, as horrible as that sounds. I want to see him out there for increased time, doing what he does best. And if he needs a break, float him forward. Make that forward line even more potent. A forward line where we've got Jeremy Cameron, Shannon Neal, Sean Manor, Tyson Stengel, Graham Myers, Brad Close, Ollie Dempsey, potentially Tom Hawkins coming back, Gary Rowan and Ollie Henry. And then go and put Danger floating through as well. Jeez. Good luck to any opposition who wants to take that on. And I think that's where we can potentially best utilize Paddy, whilst allowing him to manage his minutes and kind of protect himself a little bit. Not that it's going to stop him. If the ball's in his vicinity, he's going to go at 110% and put himself in danger again. But that's what I want to see from Danger. Otherwise, we know the Paddy Dangerfield experience. We know what he provides in terms of aggression. We know what he provides in terms of his set shot kicking, which can be a little bit wobbly at times. We know what we can expect when it comes to his tackling game, his defensive pressure, all those sort of things. We know exactly what to expect from Paddy. And I just expect that that's not going to change this final series. He was the Gary Ayres medalist in 2022 when we won the flag. And I expect a final series from Paddy that will rival that once again. I just want to see his game time up so that he can be what we need him to be. I would say our team's not as strong as what it was in 2022, and we're going to need a bit more lifting from Paddy to potentially climb the mountain once again. Cats fans, let me know what you think about Paddy Dangerfield going to this final series. Is he one of the most important pieces in the puzzle? What should we do with him? Game time. What should we expect? Should it be more of the same, or should there, as I suggest, be an increase in his minutes on the field? Let us know in the comments. Hit us up on social media. You can find me at Paul James Games. Visit the Patreon where you can get a 7-day free trial. Check out everything that we offer there, from early access to exclusive content. And then stick around beyond that for the cost of $5. You can get all of that content delivered straight to your email inbox. Check it all out. That's it for this video. Expect more videos about more players from the Cats list going forward, going into our final series against Port. It begins next Thursday. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Thanks a lot for watching. Remain Geelong strong, and I'll see you later.